Everyone on the earth is selfish. Not by choice, but by obligation, because every action must have selfish reasons behind it. Human beings would never make a decision if it doesn't serve their interest. In this context, there is simply no other way than being selfish for anyone. Maybe you think that this is false, but let's think it together. Can you give me just one unselfish example that can be done by you or anyone? Whatever you say, when we look at the roots of that action, we will always see pure selfish reasons behind it. Is being selfish bad? Dumb question. Is it bad that the sun rises every morning? It just rises. That's just the way it is. In today's society, sacrifice is often praised, but people strictly condemn selfishness. That's because people have no idea what they talk about. Well, what makes me so sure about my opinion? Let's say you are studying for an exam. You don't want to do it, but you do it anyways, because you know you have to do it. It feels like absolute torture when you read that book. However, you ignore the momentary desire and keep on studying because you want to pass the exam. You make a sacrifice for a greater purpose by ignoring short-term gratifications to reach a certain goal. Who is going to win at the end of the day? Of course, you. You will taste the victory and feel the pride of accomplishing a goal, so you make the sacrifice for your selfish reasons. What people don't understand about the sacrifice is that every sacrifice is actually selfish. The root of every sacrifice has a self-interest behind it. That's not good or bad, that's just the way it is. However, it can turn into good or bad depending on how you canalize it, like many things in life. Let's give some concrete examples. Sincerity is often perceived as a positive virtue, but is it really? Hitler was sincere. Most serial killers are sincere. The bullies in school are actually sincere. Sincerity is not a positive or a negative virtue by itself. When you channel that sincerity into evil purposes, it can suddenly become bad. Another example is ambition. Being ambitious sounds bad in general. Many people say that, oh, I'm not an ambitious person at all. Well, ironically, these people are generally turn out to be the most ambitious ones. However, that does not make ambition bad. You can be ambitious for a great purpose. You can plan on reaching a goal in your mind. While everybody is being lazy, you work your ass off for that purpose for the good of you and other people. That would be pretty amazing. Of course, this is a transparent issue as well. There are many people being ambitious for pointless aims. For instance, politicians and leaders are being ambitious to rule and to become dominant by chasing more power. The meathead guy in the gym is being ambitious to lift more weights without caring for his physical health. So the effectiveness of ambition will easily change depending upon how you use it. What about doing a favor? I know that it sounds pretty unintuitive, but making a favor for someone else is also selfish. When you ask a typical father why he is working, he will probably say, for my family. It seems pretty self-sacrificing and unselfish when you say that. However, it is a totally selfish act because the father would be devastated if his family were in a miserable situation. Seeing those kids and his wife hungry would crush him right in the heart. So he prefers to sacrifice his time and energy to accomplish a greater purpose. Not all people have to sacrifice or be sincere or ambitious at all. And most people aren't, but everyone has no other option than to be selfish. Let's also give some bad examples for sacrificing. People often choose what they will study in college, what type of career they will pursue, what type of husband or wife they will mate with, according to the opinions of their environment. They think they will make their family and friends happy by sacrificing their dreams and desires. This is not a wise sacrifice. This is the definition of being a moron. No one should sacrifice their ultimate dreams for the sake of egoistic wishes of others. Maybe your father wanted to be an engineer and your mother is in love with medical school. That doesn't mean that you should fill the gap they have in their past. You are a completely different and unique individual and you must have your opinions about what to do with your life. If somebody dictates you to make a certain decisions, you should easily be able to tell everyone to f**k off. Atheists have a very romantic argument over believers. They often say that you do your favors to get a place in heaven, but we solely do them for the sake of doing good. So they place themselves in a morally superior position. They claim that they expect nothing in return by being unselfish, unlike believers. That looks perfect on the surface, but let's test it. For example, why would an atheist buy some food for a homeless poor boy, while he could clearly say, only the strongest survive in this world, get lost? Why does he even bother doing the right thing? First, the desire for a clear conscience. We all want to see ourselves as good people.
A good person wouldn't do that, so you must be a bad person.
I'm a good person.
Why? Why do you think you're a good person?
I just am. I know I'm a good person, and you have no right to talk to me like that.
A knowledge or belief that one is a good person is essential, and helping someone is the shortest way to feel better in our inner world. Second, the boy will thank him. When the boy thanks him, he will feel superior because that will be solid proof that he was strong enough to help someone. Third, the boy will be happy and look at him with smiley eyes. His mirror neurons will be activated and he will instantly feel better because he will see that he made a positive impact on the world. 4. He will give an image of "I'm such a good person" to his friends. When you care for others, people often appreciate it, so he might also gain social proof to increase his status by proving himself to others. 5. He would prove that a non-believer can do a favor too. Yes, he can do it just to make his point, because that will strengthen his argument on this debate. It's not from the benevolence of the butcher, the brewer, or the baker that we expect our dinner, but from their regard to their own interest. This quote from Adam Smith explains everything very well. We can buy meat from the butcher and bread from the baker because these guys are doing their job for their own interest. They don't show up every day to make sure everybody gets their food. They do because that's how they make a living. We show up every day in our jobs, make sacrifices, or do tremendous good deeds for others because we think overall it's a better trade for us. Even if we lose time and energy, we compensate it feeling good or having a clear conscience. Maybe we sleep better at night without carrying guilt on our shoulders. Maybe we love when others think positively about us, but regardless of whatever we do it for ourselves. Let's have a look at the situation from a broader perspective. Would the world exist without you? Maybe it would, but would you care at all? You wouldn't even be able to care. The world exists because you exist. To ignore your selfishness is equal to ignoring your existence. You can also observe animals for taking inspiration. It's clear to see the me-first attitude of an alpha lion. He takes whatever he wants and he doesn't let anyone get in his way. He obviously does not share his food with hyenas because he knows that's his share. Only after he's done, he let the others have their take. Similarly, in humans, alpha individuals do not hide their true desires to look innocent or harmless. They are at peace with their selfishness and by accepting who they are.
Maybe someone's don't like me, but because maybe I'm too good.
On the other hand, nice guys are afraid to expose their true character. They are afraid to ask for what they want, mostly because of the possible upcoming judgment of other people. They suck at relationships because women instinctively know the role they play by hiding their real intentions to be seen as a nice person. To be selfish is the only way. Rejecting selfishness is like rejecting gravity. You can ignore it, but the force will be always there. Being selfish is not a crime. It's the natural state of all creatures. We are all born and will die selfishly. Neither you become unselfish when you put yourself in a second place, nor you become selfish when you put yourself first, because in both situations you think that will be a better trait for you. The idea that you become such a virtuous person when you always make self-sacrificial decisions is actually a lie. If we want to be happy or to make others happy, we must always put ourselves first. Just like a blown out candle can't spread any light, unhappy people can never spread happiness for others. So if you have a desire to make others better, the first step is always making yourself better. As long as your tank is full, you can provide for others. There is simply no other way. From now on, I hope you'll never need to feel bad for your selfishness again. It's not something you can change or hide, so you better accept and love it with your whole heart. Thank you for watching. If you want to support the channel, please leave a like and subscribe. See you in the next video.